And come to the maxi, guys. We are finally back again for the very first out of 2 reaction videos. I'll be dropping it again today on this here, the one and only Mystelics reaction, guys. If you want to, definitely check out the next one, the latest one I would have to say after this one, in the first comment in the comment box below when it drops right there, guys. And of course, with that said, big up the Mystelics YouTube family for dropping by and say, Mystelics, we are in the building, as well as the people peeping in, even the aliens as well, because you heard the U.S. government speaking about that very same thing. Talking about there's unidentified flying objects flying over the United States and other places and so forth. People recording all kind of things in the sky, and you know it's going crazy. I personally, this is not anything new or surprising to me on the basis that we knew that when the great when one third, that's a whole other topic right there. But the fallen ones from other places, you know, that's all I can say in this regard. All you get me. I'll just leave that there. I'll just leave that there so I don't scare nobody right there. But they're actually talking about that very thing right there. So people all across the universe, brothers and sisters who are watching the Mystelics vlogs, come on in, brothers and sisters. If you're new to this channel, come on in and sit down, have a seat, and let us rap and see what the reaction is about. Of course, this reaction is about Mr. Elvis Francois, the individual who survived 24 days out in the sea from Saint Martin all the way down to Colombia. 24 days. And he was rescued by the Colombian ship. And of course, he is in Dominica giving a number of interviews. And we're going to find out why exactly did he leave Dominica. This is why we're here today. And of course, I think Flo also gave him a phone and stuff. Should I go for, I think I have this video somewhere. Let me find it, guys. Let me find it. Okay, guys, I can't find it, but maybe in the next video, I will do this one. I'll show you guys how the whole incident with Flo and whatnot. But it seems like he's been sponsored by Red Rock right there. I'm not sure. But he's there having an interview with Dr. Triffy Margaret Wallace. That link, of course, will be in the description. If you want it uninterrupted, it'll be in the description below so you guys can check it out right there. Don't forget the second reaction I'll be doing, or the latest one coming up, will also be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. With that stated, let's get into the vibrations right there. Why did he leave Dominica? Interesting. I know that a number of persons tend to leave Dominica for various reasons, but why did he specifically had to leave Dominica? Let's go.
Okay, so how did you leave Dominica? What's your story of leaving Dominica?
Well, I had some issue. I had some problem with my family, which I go through some difficulties in life.
And not little difficulty you go through. Actually, one of the Mystelics family who knows him very, very well, who indicated to me that she was one of the individuals who took care of him before he went out, and he used to call her and everything like that, told me some of the struggles that he went through, and the community itself wasn't treating him well at all, from my understanding, to the point where they ended up burning down a house. Ended up burning down a house, and it wasn't his house, you know. Anyways, let me not say much about that before I tell the person's scene. But the individual was telling me about, you know, him and how he was treated and so forth, and here he is talking about that very same thing. His family wasn't treating him too well. You know, sometimes when you don't have money and trying to see, I don't know what is his struggle, but sometimes when you see you at a certain level in life, individuals don't seem to look at you in a positive light. So let's continue right there.
And I had issue with my family. My house I build, and what I cultivated to earn my living. While I was on the market, somebody put fire in my home. So I don't know really exactly who did it, but since that I was on the market selling, I planted my stuff and went to the market.
Actually saw him today. He was by the market as well. Actually saw him today, and I peeped him, blew him and whatnot. Actually saw him today. He looks like a guy who you can tell he has gone through a lot in life, man. He has got, man, I tell you, I saw him. He's just a straight face and everything like that. Like, yeah, I get a little clout, so to speak, as a result of my shortcomings and people hailing me up. No, but it's not like they really care for you. Back in the day, they did not care about you. But now you got a little thing. Hey, everybody. Hey. That's what humans are, you know. That's why I have to be mindful. Anyways, let me continue.
And So while if I go down on the market like Thursday, I'll be coming up Saturday afternoon when the market closed.
Okay.
So because I was selling nighttime also, and I had a stall, village, and a craft shop, which they come and break it down, and the certain people of the village they break it down. So all those things I try to do to benefit the village and myself and the young people. They try to destroy it. So I get kind of frustrated and I leave, try to go far away from Dominica.
So you're telling me the stress of Dominica itself was weighing you down. Not only that, but the people themselves in your community were also adding pressure to that. We already know that Dominica economy is not doing well. Dominica economy is not doing well. You're trying your best to see what you can do, and the very people in society, your society, are trying to keep you down. This is very interesting when you heard or keep hearing the saying that says, just because people are around you and they might smile and hey, how you doing and whatnot, means that they're your friend. I always remember the greatest person who influenced my life. If you don't know who that is, he always says, be wary of company. That is his exact words. Be wary of company. And he learned this from his mother, because I remember his mother saying the same thing too. Be wary of company. Some of these people, they're not your friend. They're not your friend, but the matter of fact, when they're showcasing who they are, you should take them for who they are.
Because of that, I didn't have an attorney to represent me.
Yes.
They set me up. I had 4 trees of marijuana, although they had talked about it. And they said I broke a bridge order. The officers then brutalized me. Still charged me.
Because they know, this is the thing that I noticed in Dominica, I know. If they know you cannot afford a lawyer, the police will take advantage of you. They will take advantage. They're supposed to be serving the people. Police are there to protect and serve the people, to ensure that they are guided by laws. And remember, the police is not above the law, you know. You can also sue the police. This is one of the things I tell in individuals. And then again, they know some people don't have money to sue. But if those lawyers were smart and they know that it's definitely a winning case, the lawyers then would take on the case. And if they had to get $100,000 instead of paying $7,000 or $5,000 to thing, if they're getting $100,000 in compensation, they would have get like what, 30, 40, 50, $50,000, half. They would have win. You take 50, you take 50, everybody happy. Not so. I mean, if the lawyers were smart enough. I remember talking to lawyers about what is taking place. I say, how come you guys are not the ones? In the United States, the lawyers are taking the government to court. How come the lawyers in Dominica are not taking the Dominican government to court? I find that strange. They are waiting for somebody else to do it so that they can profit. And then they will pretend as if they care so much. Interesting stuff, ain't it? Interesting stuff. We see in other countries do it. This is why it's important to look at how other countries operate in. And not just say, oh, we're in Dominica and that is how it working in Dominica. Other places are doing it. The laws are taking the government and the people into court. You think you just slide in just like that? Anyways, let's continue.
$7,000. So all that I get frustrated, and I try to go as far as possible from Dominica.
Wow.
Because
go ahead.
Because the morning they came at my home, I know I had 4 trees of marijuana. I agreed to take my charge for my 4 trees.
But you have charge for 4 trees. It's not 3 or 4 trees now you're allowed to grow.
But it was not enough, and they started to brutalize me. And so they gave me 5 charges, which I had no problem at all. But 4 simple little trees, and I end up.
That's why I've never understood this. I've never understood this. The Prime Minister spoke about it. I will be reacting to the Prime Minister anyway, because individuals will sending me messages, say, Mystelics, but you should have continued. I told them I didn't want to make the reactions long and whatnot, but I will be reacting to the Prime Minister on that sentiment right there. He's speaking about the very same thing in that regard. The marijuana trees and thing. It doesn't make sense to me. God that create the plant. I would understand if it's the Chinese that come and manipulate and they put it in and then people grow in it and it's dangerous. God created the plant for a reason. No, guys, don't get me wrong. It's the smoking of it. The Prime Minister speaking about, from what I heard, he was speaking about, you know, there's a number of persons who are smoking marijuana. They've developed lung issues. The marijuana in itself is not the problem. This is why I tell people if they want to utilize marijuana, they want to sensimilia. They can use water vapor instead. It is the smoke in the carbon monoxide that is affecting people. So even if you're taking the Mary Jane and you're smoking with the carbon monoxide that you put in your system, smoke not supposed to be in your bronchioles, brothers and sisters. It's not supposed to be there. What do you expect to happen? Anyways, let's continue. Some people might say, oh, you know, it does affect this person and that. Different bodies require different bodies, different people. What might affect that person doesn't mean it's not gonna affect. What might affect that person doesn't mean it won't affect you, but it might affect somebody else. So you have to be mindful of this, guys. You have to understand different body types. This is one of the reasons I don't understand why the medical fraternity wants to use one thing to solve the problem of many. Look at the whole Rona situation. Or take the injection, take the injections, and many have that. Let me continue.
That kind of destroyed my life. So after I go through all those difficulties, I leave because I had to pay that money. So I had to give them something like $4,000 because things was kind of difficult.
But how you come up with $4,000? That's not difficult. It's difficult. But you come up with 4,000. That is plenty money. I meant to say that is plenty money you come up there with.
I didn't have a home to sleep because both of the house I was sleeping, they put fire in. They put fire in it, and
so that's one of the houses I was talking about. So they burned down his house, and the other house that they did, I guess when he went there, they decided to burn it down too. How people wicked like that now? Holy wicked! It's not your house. It's not you that staying there. You burning down. But all you do is in a boy. Yes, Father. But don't worry, man. You see, what goes around comes around. That is a true statement. Truth. Might not come to you, but your little ones will feel it. Your little ones go feel it. Reparation. All right then.
No police didn't arrest nobody. I never got no assistance. So
Yep.
all those.
That's what I was talking about. Up to now, they don't know who do it. No assistance from the community. Nothing. Or the person who did this malicious activity. So they burned down his house. The lady, somebody decided to come and help him out, put him in the house. Or they burned down that house too. Boy, boy, that is Limie. That is freaking Limie, boy.
Struggle I was going through.
Wow.
I leave Dominica and went because I know I could make a life out there.
Yeah, and that's interesting though. A number of persons, especially individuals who have gone to school, do not want to come back. They are not taking a risk. I know a number of persons who are left Dominica and they literally putting themselves on the line. They put in their visas or whatever on the line so that they can ensure that they have a better opportunity of survival or opportunity itself to make it because they know they cannot make it in Dominica. Interesting. Look, he's one of them. On top of the economy that is doing bad, the people themselves, boy, all you do easy now, boy. All you do easy, boy.
So I live from Dominica to go to St. Martin. But the people I went to St. Martin for, they refused to pay me.
That is Limie. I say Limie about the other one. So you're doing work, they know you leave to come up St. Martin trying to make something and they refuse to pay you.
So I was doing well still in Dominica. By a lot of plans and I was.
Oh, because there's in agriculture in Dominica. This is one of the reasons I always tell people that agriculture is the way forward in Dominica. There are many people who don't have jobs and because of agriculture they're able to survive. In Dominica, this is why it's important to do agriculture, and agriculture helps a number of things. One of the things that it helps is survival in itself. Even if the government or wherever across the world they want to victimize you. One of the places I remember in Africa, there was some sort of issue that went on, like the P word. There's some sort of issue that went across the world, and the only country that didn't feel it was Africa because they were the ones doing their own planting. The backyard gardening and all those kind of things there.
I was planting vegetables and always on the market with my stuff.
That is most likely why I was able to make the $4,000 he spoke about earlier.
That's how I could afford to pay the government.
Yeah.
So Elvis, you're saying you were a farmer for the most part. You planted your crops, and you also were on the water, like you did fishing and stuff like that as well.
Yes.
And you would go down to the market. Which market? Like Portsmouth Market?
Portsmouth and Roseau.
Portsmouth and Roseau. And you also had a
lady, you don't see the man doing an interview
stall close to the roadside, but people came and
broke it down.
Yes, and they also
who's that lady? Lady, the interview, you not lost in sea. What you doing there?
Set fire.
Right.
Maybe she's the owner of Red Rock, I guess.
To your home.
Yeah.
That's heavy. That's a lot.
Yes.
Or maybe she checking the connection or something, I guess. I don't know.
So I was kind of frustrated.
Yeah.
So I decided I want to go far away from Dominica, because if people doing all that and the law is not acting.
So the people are against you. The law is against you. Where do you turn? This is one reason that I always ask people, when your country fails you and you make it overseas, who do you pay homage to? Do you pay homage to your country, your home country, or to the place that actually made you who you are? I've heard a number of individuals and I met a number of successful Dominicans out there in the United States saying they will never mention Dominica. They've made it overseas. They will never mention Dominica because Dominica never did nothing for them. I remember even Nazio. Nazio didn't want to perform and finally he performed in Dominica. That was one of the biggest shows I saw in Creole in the park when Nazio performed, man. The biggest, hands down. But from the story that I understood, Nazio, they used to treat Nazio bad. Until he went overseas. It's the same thing that is happening. They used to treat him bad. Because of the predicament. It could be, it was bad that this happened to him, but it turned out to be a blessing where he's able to get a number of things. Interesting how humanity works, man. Interesting. They always look down on you until somebody else recognizes. That happened to me too, I remember people used to look down on me for YouTube, saying, but what Mystelics did there? What do actually Mystelics did there? When YouTube headquarters picked me up, Silicon Valley. Boy, if I have to tell you, you never believe me. Hey, anyways, let's continue.
So, and it's only me the scene because, I have 4 trees of marijuana at my home, but that don't mean you should brutalize me.
Exactly.
When you say brutalize, what do you mean?
Well, put the handcuff very tight and drag me.
Wow, for 4 trees.
Yes.
That is that. I'm glad he needs to go international and tell the story too. You need to go out there, my boy. I wonder if I can link him up with CNN. I need to. It's been a while since I spoke. Anyways, you need to go international, buddy.
And they said I break a bridge order, which it wasn't true. And I think the magistrate was drunk. So he just put everything on my back with no consideration.
That I've heard of stories of certain magistrates in Dominica. They don't really care about your story. They just want to ensure that you go to jail. It's interesting. They don't really care about your story. They just want to ensure that you go to jail. Well, I one of them that was doing this kind of things there, and well, his health turned on him. His mental turned on him. And well, he's not doing well. You see, what goes around comes around.
Nothing, never go into the files, the details, because the report, I had a report from the prison, I was brutalized. And he never even looked up to it.
Wow.
So
that says a lot. I'm happy I'm reacting to this. That says a lot.
That is the kind of thing that made me want to get out of Dominica.
So you felt so frustrated. You
Right.
left. Yes. But then when you went to St. Martin, it seems like you ran into some more
More issues again.
struggles.
Yes, because The people I went Saint Martin. I went Saint Martin for.
Like when you said to go for, you went there to work, like as if you.
No, somebody sent me to Saint Martin.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like I didn't want to go, but they kind of forced me to go. So first they asked me if I could bring a yacht down to Roseau. I said no problem, because I know I'm capable of bringing it to Roseau. But while on my way to Roseau, they bring I see a next boat come, and they bring 9 people, 9 out of 10 people. Yeah, and they tell me then had 2 other fellas with me. They went down from the boat. I was making my way to go down. They tell me I can't leave. So they threatened me. So I had to go Saint Martin and deliver the 9 people for them.
Wow.
That sounds like human trafficking, ain't it?
Which they take my phone so I couldn't have no contact. And they call so I tried to call Dominica for somebody to help me, but I had no phone. So they sent up with me to be in charge of the situation. Fight anything wrong, because they have 9 people against me, 10 people against me. And it's me alone, so I had to go with their orders.
Guys, as he's saying that there, I'm just thinking of certain circumstances that happen to people where you will say, oh, what you doing there? What you involving that in? Sometimes people don't have a choice. Although there's still the possibility of choice, but on the basis of looking at it and saying, boy, you know, if I don't do this, they might end up doing me harm, or, you know, certain things. Sometimes the choice is there, but you're risking your own safety. So sometimes you looking at persons in certain circumstances and they end up in certain predicaments, but you never really know the true story of it. That is interesting right there. Let's continue.
That's how I really reached in Saint Martin.
Wow.
Now, one of them, that person work in the fisheries at Newtown. They was on the border at Newtown fisheries. So that is the kind of thing the people, they have government jobs and they have opportunity to help people, but
sell them out sell them out by
they try to destroy people's life. If he when I see I was in Saint Martin and going through all the difficulties.
How long were you in Saint Martin? So okay, so you're forced to take these people to Saint Martin, these 9 people. And what happens? You stay in Saint Martin?
Yes, I stayed in Saint Martin because I had no money to come back Dominica. And
so they didn't pay you?
He came back Saint Martin and he picked up the next guy and he left me because I didn't have documents to come back home. But from the market I go for me to bring the yacht down to Roseau. But on the way to Roseau, that is what happened. So that is how I end up of being without papers.
So you were in Saint Martin now without papers, and now you have to try to find work.
I have to find ways to survive, to eat, because without documents you can hardly work, you can hardly move around.
I kind of felt something like that was happening though, because if he was lost in sea and he was in Saint Martin, I thought of that. Why didn't he go back to Saint Martin? That's I never mentioned this, but I thought of it.
Right.
So
how did you do that? How did you get something?
Well, I had family members, and because of my talent, it was kind of easy for me to able to do something that somebody would appreciate what I do. So I made that year.
Yes.
And seeing that I didn't have means and ways to come back, but they adjust me so that I could come back down with a vessel also. Come back down on a vessel.
I still didn't get paid. Address you, they as in the people who let you go up the first time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and their colleagues, because there was orders, was calling me and giving me orders. People I know in Dominica. Yeah. But since I came back from Dominica, they have been hiding.
So in Saint Martin now, so there you are, you say your talent helps you to kind of survive.
Guess that's the yacht stuff.
How did you get first? I want to go back a little bit to how did you learn to? How does a boy from Dodan learn how to sail?
Dodan, answer me.
Well, I still, as I was saying, I know about the sea very well, and
that's most likely why you ended up surviving for sure.
I have been using more of the other type of boats.
Okay.
So it was just the sail I had to make a research about. So I made a research about the sail, and I could do it.
How young were you when you started sailing?
It's quite a while. Well, it's not in Dominica.
Okay.
Because most thing I learn is, I would say, is Guadeloupe. I only learn farming in Dominica.
Okay.
Operator also, operating machine, like excavator and stuff.
Okay, like heavy machinery.
Right.
Okay, okay. That's what you mean when you say your talent? Because of your talents. Yes.
That's a nice way she phrased that question. I would just ask what is talent, but I guess you're not too sure, so you try to figure out. Okay.
You were telling me something earlier about being 12 or 13, like like you would go on the sea with. I want to hear a little bit about your relationship with the sea.
With the eligible men.
Yes.
They used to go out on their little boat and fish, so I used to be going with them.
Yes.
We have small engines. They used to let me start the engine. And certain times, as I get in a custom, they would give me the boat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to go and get the fishing nets and stuff like that. So
I guess the best teacher is experience, guys. You might have trial and error in the beginning, but as time goes by, you get better and better. Just like me and editing. Editing for boy. Hey.
Then when I leave Dominica at 15 years to go to Guadeloupe. There's where I finished learning everything. I used to be doing fishing with certain people, and I was going all the way out there, like from Guadeloupe, Antigua, to Saint Martin, those places.
So at 15, you left Dominica the first time?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you have a job lined up, or how did that happen? Like
no education. It's just a little year experience construction and farming what I raised in. Yeah, so that's what I had when I leave at 15 years to go to Guadeloupe.
But didn't you say you learn? Oh, you learned it in Dominica. You learned farming in Dominica. Okay.
But Guadeloupe gave me the opportunity to learn a lot of things like fishing in general, and construction, and operator, mechanic, and plenty other little skills. I do craft also.
Yes. What kind of craft? When you say that, what do you mean?
Craft work like
woodwork?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. That's
a lot of different types.
So now, how did you come to be on that boat, on that one where you went adrift?
Well, the same set of people called me from Dominica, and asked me they want to go home, but I find the time they called me to drop them, it was too late, so I put off my phone because I realized something was wrong.
So you had a phone,
and couple of weeks after.
That's later on, because I'm trying to figure out the timeline between when you had the phone, when they took the phone, when you had the phone. So
they contact me, and they tell me where the boat was, and where I had to go from, who they had to give me the keys. And so
you yourself have to be careful. You supposed to have things on that boat, and then somebody set you up. Be careful of the company you keep. All right then.
They give the person my number. The person called me, and they tell me where they could come for me. But I was by my cousin when they come and pick me up. They bring me to the boat, where they was with me, and when I reached there, I see it had some work to be done on the boat.
Okay.
So
start to repeat.
I start to do the work myself and the other people. The things I asked them for me to to go, they didn't give it to me. So I ended up going with a sick boat, a boat that not capable of doing the mission. They were calling me constant that they in Dominica come for them. So that's how I end up off when I reach in Dominica water. The phone that they give me to call them, it was not capable of calling.
From where you were?
Yeah.
In the sea.
So it had no GPS. What? No. It was just a simple phone, which they know about it. They know that would happen. So I went back all the way St. Martin to call them back. Because the St. Martin phone I had.
Yeah.
And they still refused to answer the call. So I decided, well, I have to go anywhere. That convinced me. So it's on the way that the sail get break. The stick.
Sail broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they say he was fixing the boat. Well, they're probably trying to fix it, and on trying to fix it out in the sea, it was drifting away. Okay, that's a bit different. I thought he was on the shore well, he wouldn't be on the shore sailing away. He would most likely have to be in the sea, which now makes more sense to me, because I thought he was probably on the wharf somewhere fixing the thing, and he at the bottom of the boat, and the boat drifting apart and drifting away, and he don't know he drifting, and then boom, when he come up from the where I be yeah.
So I had no other choice because the battery was dead.
Yes.
The engine had issue and the sail. So I had no other means, no other ways than just wait. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how it happened. Okay. So that's how it happened. He was in St. Martin, he had a sick boat. He had to go and pick up some people in Dominica, fixing things on thing. Anyways, on his way down Dominica, he tried to call his people, nobody coming. I guess they had to take another boat to come and meet him in the thing for them to go up. I'm guessing that's what happened. I'm not sure. But anyways, I guess he didn't get the contact. He decided to go back to St. Martin so he can call his people. On his way back there, he tried to call and whatnot, boom bang, nothing happening. Sail mash up, and engine not working properly because it's a sick boat. So him in trying to fix stuff, was drifting away. So that is how he ended up in that predicament. But like I always mentioned, I said it a number of times, be careful of the company you keep. Guys, I'll leave this link in the description below if you want to hear the full thing. So check it out, man. It's an interesting story right there. And then, guys, tune in for the next reaction I have to do. That'll be, of course, the first comment in the comment box below, guys. So definitely check that out right there, and then when that drops. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on our post notifications so you can get all the videos as they tend to come through right there. And then I'll see you guys in the next one. Boom bang.